and merging over time. Are we investing, or does it become spending and squandering? Keep that in mind as we talk about our principles here. These are ways to safeguard yourself before you go overboard and commit self-betrayal. Because remember, when you start giving up those principles, those values, you're losing your integrity. And in doing that, you lose respect from the other people. Now you're losing attraction. You start to feel it. You start to lose the attraction. The person will say and do things that anyone could say would be considered disrespectful. Prime example, I'm older than the person I dated, and I said, you just might be the most informed 26-year-old in the world. I like to dabble in what's actually going on. You see through the matrix and you make a determination that you don't want to live in that bullcrap programming. And so you live through the self as much as you can and see through everyone and everything's facade. Price of silver, the stock market, corporate media, mind control, propaganda, warfare, you name it, right? Now, I'm not here to unload all that stuff onto that person, but when I says to her, you might be one of the most informed 26-year-olds out there, and she says, yeah, well, I wouldn't look too much into that. I wouldn't go that far. That's a subtle shot, and you let it go because at least they're showing some emotion. That's how bad it gets. They stop expressing their love. Not that they ever really did much. On occasion, I guess they call it breadcrumbing, when they occasionally give you a little bit just to satisfy that oxytocin fix that they implanted in you early in the honeymoon phase. All right, but they start to disrespect you. And then it becomes where you feel like they don't even listen to anything you say. They don't respect your judgment. So if you make a decision, they disagree with it. Sometimes you just let people learn their lesson and go their way. But when it comes habitual to where everything is in question, that's not happening. You can't allow that to happen. You've built yourself up. You're building your frame. You're living in your purpose. You're a man of high value. And if you're not currently, and you're not maintaining, you're only a man of high value if you're able to maintain your values and not commit an act of self-betrayal. If you're not a man of high value, but you seek that, that is a great aspiration to have. Foundational principles, values, virtues, emotional regulation, living through your purpose, taking action, and then letting the world discover you through your actions, staying silent, stability in chaos. All right, even if that's what you're seeking and you're not there yet, look, this is eternal consciousness, man. This is a lifelong journey of self-discovery. That's what it's all about. And that's what we should be doing, because everything else now that we're talking about and being brokenhearted about, it wasn't even brokenhearted, it's beyond that. Again, I mentioned that my father passed away on my 17th birthday. This is just like a death, if not worse. An emotional execution, a discard. It's incredible what's out there. Just a complete discard, right? How do we protect ourselves from that? You live that higher value life where you seek that. We're all trying to seek it out there, guys. Every day is a hustle, and not a hustle. Every day is a struggle to not have to hustle, just to let it be and let go of some things and live in the moment and be who you are and not be afraid to be who you are, to share your love. This could ruin a man to where you just sit in all day and you just are completely cynical to the world, where you're like, I'm not investing at all in this anymore. I refuse to do that. I'm full of love. I am full of compassion, intention. I seek to share that with a beautiful woman, preferably one who spares some or shares some spiritual commonality, or who is willing to compromise equally towards commonality. That is, we've got spirit. Yes, we do. That's team spirit. where you have a state, an energetic state of commonality towards a common goal. What is it that we want in this life? Do we want to live egotistically with the rest of the fools out there? Because I don't. No la la land for me. Just love, love land. Okay? So those are just some of the ways that you can protect yourself. The minute you start to realize that your self-love, self-dignity, and self-respect are going out the window, you lose self-worth because that person stops valuing you. They're mirroring what you're thinking about yourself by staying in that relationship without setting boundaries. And when those boundaries are crossed, you stay anyway. They're going to start reflecting your own disrespect for yourself. Don't do that. Do not do that ever. You will live a life of anxiety and hormonal imbalance. Not what I mean by imbalance is you're going to be bombarded with toxic hormones that age you very quickly. Leads to inflammation of your arteries, your heart, your liver, your brain. It erodes your spirituality, your energetic state of vibrance. I'm out here for a beautiful walk. You think I'm going to walk with a slouch in my back? Because that's what happens. You think I'm going to walk around like I was in the United States Marine for 9 years? People say, you know how you tell the difference between a Marine and the other branches of service. No offense to anybody, there are some badasses out there in other branches of service. By no means am I pooping on anybody's service in other branches. But they say you could tell the difference between a Marine and other branches by the way they walk. You think I'm going to walk with no vibrance? You think I'm not going to walk with a little bit of swagger in my step, a little bit of confidence, like I've been somewhere, like I've done something maybe? We don't have time to be devalued or disrespected. Now, we don't have time to argue about it and be in contempt over it and be angry about it and be emotional about it. We can remove ourselves, and that's where detachment comes from. We can learn to detach and stay within the self and not attach ourselves too much to these external things. It's okay to be in love. It's okay to share that. Be willing to be open. Be willing to be vulnerable, but you must set boundaries and you must hold your values and hold that vibrance. You realize you have trillions of cells in the body? Do you realize that within those trillions of cells, you have trillions of atoms, and those atoms consist of energy and vibration? You really want to be condensed? When you live with cortisol, when you live with anxiety, you condense your cells. You can't vibrate externally. People sense that from you. Do you think I want to walk around in a condensed state? What do you take me for? As they say in Massachusetts. What the hell do you take me for? All right, that's not how we roll. We do not do that. That person's disregard and disrespect and devaluing of the things that you say and your boundaries that you set are a reflection. They're only mirroring back to you the own disrespect that you have unconsciously. Keep that in mind. That's the way you think about yourself. Is that really the way you want to carry yourself on a daily basis? Do you think that's how I'm going to carry myself? You're out of your mind. Peace.